Welcome to the multi-tiered systems of supports. Are we truly implementing a multi-tiered system presentation? I certainly hope you previously watched the overview presentation in which we introduced the concept of there being 7 ingredients or essential components for a successful MTSS process. If you have not, I highly recommend that you preview that presentation prior to continuing with this one. I also highly recommend that you review the second and third presentations in which instruction, interventions, and the overview of the use of data, important components of a successful MTSS process, were introduced and discussed. In this presentation, we are going to review the final 2 components for a successful MTSS system: fidelity measures and professional development and training. Student success in the multi-tiered system of support model requires fidelity of implementation and the delivery of content and instructional strategies specific to the learning and/or behavioral needs of the student. This is important on the classroom or instructional level, as well as the school or district as a system. At the instructional or classroom level, it is important to not only monitor one's integrity within data collection, for example, progress monitoring, but also with intervention and instruction implementation. Next, we will review some examples of fidelity measures and additional resources that you may find useful. This is an example of an oral reading fluency observation checklist, which has been modified from the RCBM Accuracy of Implementation Rating Scale, or AIRS. As you can see, this checklist highlights the important steps that an assessor would need to do to ensure that they are conducting the oral reading fluency CBM with accuracy to ensure valid data. Again, this form showcases the intervention sequence and is an example of one of the evidence-based interventions using the North Dakota Reading Corps program. This is one of the program's tools used to measure fidelity and ensure implementation integrity. This tool is provided to the tutors upon training and then used by the program's literacy director to ensure implementation integrity. What is most important about these types of observations is the clarity of expectations for the individual doing the intervention as well as the observer. The Intervention Integrity Observation Checklist removes any subjectivity from the observation, and the expectations are very clear. On the North Dakota MTSS website, you will find copies of each of these systems-level fidelity measures for your review. I have chosen several different measures, some more specific than others, so that schools and districts can decide which measure is going to suit their needs best. Again, this is just a sample of the resources available, so there may be additional forms not listed. I encourage your use of whatever is going to meet your needs overall. Staff development and training. Leadership is key for a successful MTSS system. This leadership may be provided by the principal, reading coach, and our literacy teams, psychologists, or even the special education department. Although there are several characteristics inherent to creating strong leadership, one characteristic is most valued. This is knowledge. Strong leaders need extensive knowledge of their students, instructional programs, data, schedules, and teachers' needs. Knowing teachers' needs and the needs of the students should be the basis for staff development. Additionally, leaders need to have a strong vision for the school, which they could explain clearly. All of this leads to the overall staff development and training. For a successful MTSS system, all school staff should be trained in assessments, data analysis, programs, and research-based instructional practices and strategies. School-based grade level or interdisciplinary teams use a collaborative approach to analyze student data and work together in the development, implementation, and monitoring of the intervention process. All this takes training and time. Effective professional development. Overall, effective professional development is ongoing is specific and targeted, involves opportunities for practice with feedback and naturalistic contexts, i.e. the classroom. Lastly, effective professional development provides teachers with adequate time to reflect on their own practices, set goals, and self-evaluate. If things aren't perfect, ensure full implementation by creating a timeline, hold people accountable, continually provide training for all teachers, plan for observations, coaching to support teachers, ensure all teachers understand expectations regarding program fidelity. Here is an example of a specific 5-year outline for training based from the National Implementation Research Network's implementation stages. The plan is detailed and separated into 3 main categories: assessment, data analysis, and service delivery and scheduling. During the exploration stage, readiness for an MTSS system is assessed and key decisions are made. In this stage, the elementary school has decided to select screeners, create initial assessment calendar, and complete baseline screening in year 1. They are also beginning to train key personnel, which is including coaching. In addition, they are analyzing the effectiveness of their Tier 1 or core curriculum. In the second stage, or installation, the nuts and bolts of the system's change must be determined. In this stage, the installation team helps organizations secure the needed resources to do the work ahead and prepare staff for the new practices. Initial implementation and full implementation may occur in years 2 and 3, maybe not, depending on the agency's rate of progress. It is important not to be discouraged if your timeline or progress takes a little longer, or there are hiccups. Always review the milestones that have been achieved instead of criticizing your school or district for its lack of speedy progress. As you can see in the model, the 2 implementation stages are used to slowly integrate the 3-tiered model across the grade levels. Some school districts prefer to work through 1 grade at a time, while others prefer to move through each tier as a school. No way is right or wrong. You must analyze your resources. Overall, in the innovation stage, the school or district is fine-tuning the processes and procedures that are set forth. And lastly, the sustainability stage is setting forth school and district level policies, ensuring continual professional development and training, and ensuring that the procedures are fully embedded in the school culture. Funding for this project has been supported by the North Dakota State Personnel Development Grant.